After spending some time with it, I thought it might be helpful to share what I have noticed so far. I have actually been using this hoop outside for years, and it has lived through real days of play, real weather, and plenty of lazy evenings where I just wanted to shoot around for 10 minutes. At a basic level, this is for anyone who wants a driveway or backyard hoop, but does not want to commit to a permanent in-ground install. If you are renting, if you might rework your driveway later, or if you just like being able to change where you play, a portable system like this makes sense. I also think it fits families well, because you can set the rim lower for kids, then bring it back up when adults want to play. What makes this one stand out in day-to-day life is not some fancy trick. It is the combination of a big base, wheels that actually work, and an adjustment system that I can use without turning it into a whole project. It is the kind of hoop that ends up getting used more often because it is not annoying to live with. Let me talk about how it feels and how it is built, because that is what you notice every time you touch it. The base is large and wide, and once it is filled, it has that heavy, planted feeling that keeps things from sliding around during normal play. When the base is empty, I can move it around the driveway without a ton of effort. When the base is filled with water, it becomes the kind of heavy where I can still reposition it if I really need to, but it is not something I want to drag across rough concrete every day. The wheels and the handle are a big part of that. I have moved this hoop around for practical reasons, not just to test it. I have pulled it closer to the pool so we can shoot while someone is in the water. I have shifted it to the side when I needed space for cars. The wheels are not magic, and they do not float over every crack, but they do the job. If your driveway has a lot of uneven seams, you feel it. You just slow down and tilt it right, and it gets there. The pole has held up better than I expected for something that sits outside all the time. I am in Florida, so it deals with strong sun, heavy rain, and wind that can show up out of nowhere. Over time, I have noticed some fading and slight discoloration. I have also seen a little surface rust in a couple small spots. Nothing structural, nothing that has made it feel weak, but it is real outdoor wear. If you want it looking perfect forever, you would need to wipe it down and touch up paint once in a while. I have not bobbied it, and it is still solid. Height adjustment is one of the reasons this hoop works for a household with different players. I can move the rim up and down without needing tools. The mechanism is simple. I pull the latch, use the handle, and bring it to the height I want. The important part is that it locks in place and stays there. Once it is set, it does not drift during play. I have done sessions where it gets a lot of contact, and I do not end up stopping to readjust it. On the rim itself, the breakaway action is something I appreciate, especially when people decide they are going to test their vertical jump. The rim gives a bit when you grab it or dunk on it, and it snaps back. It is not loose in a bad way. It is more like it is designed to flex, so you are not putting all that force straight into the backboard. Over time, it has stayed consistent. The springs still feel tight enough that it comes back the way it should. The backboard is a clear material that feels like that typical plexiglass style board. In real use, it has taken a lot of shots that were not gentle. Hard bank shots, missed layups, and a few throws from kids that were basically line drives. It has not cracked, and I have not seen stress marks that make me worry about it. It does pick up the usual outdoor dust and water spots, and you can clean it if you care about that. I mostly care that it stays intact and gives a consistent rebound, and it does. Setup is the part people usually ask about, because a lot of hoops are annoying to put together. This one still takes time, and I recommend planning for it instead of rushing. Some steps are easier with another person, mostly when you are aligning pieces and holding the backboard. Nothing about it is mysterious, but it is a lot of parts, and you need patience. When I put mine together, the biggest thing was making sure everything was tightened properly and rechecking after the first few play sessions. Outdoor equipment settles a little once it starts getting used, and it is worth doing a quick follow-up tighten. Daily use is where I can tell you if it is actually living up to what I need. I leave it in the driveway most of the time. When I want it to stay put, having the base filled makes a real difference. I can play hard, cut, stop, and shoot without the whole thing creeping forward. There is still some movement if you really slam into it or if the ground is sloped, because portable hoops are not anchored in the ground. but it is controlled and it does not feel sketchy. Wind matters too. On very windy days, I pay attention to where it is positioned. A big backboard is basically a sail. With the base filled, mine has stayed upright, but I still treat it like any tall outdoor object. If a storm is coming, I move it to a safer spot and lower the height. That is just part of owning a portable hoop in a place with sudden weather. As far as smart features and a mobile app, this hoop does not have that, and I am fine with it. There is nothing I want to connect to a phone here. I just want the rim at the right height, the base stable, and the rebound predictable. In practice, simple is a benefit because there is nothing electronic to fail after sitting in heat and rain. Performance-wise, the two things I care about are stability and play feel. For stability, it is good for a portable hoop, especially when the base is filled. For play feel, the rim has the right amount of give, and the backboard gives consistent bounces. It feels like something I can use for casual shooting, horse, and reel one-on-one without feeling like I am playing on a toy. There are limitations. The base being heavy is good for stability, but it also means moving it is a workout. If you plan to roll it around every single day, you will notice that. The clear backboard looks nice when it is clean, but outdoors it shows dirt and water spots more than a solid board would. And like I said, over years outside, you will see cosmetic wear. It is not falling apart, but it will not look brand new forever. Overall, my impression after living with it outside for years is that it does what I need it to do. It is a practical portable hoop that has held up to real weather and real play, and it has not turned into a constant maintenance project. If you want something you can keep in a driveway, adjust for different players, and move when you need to, this has been a dependable setup for me. If you have questions about anything I did not cover, or if you want me to test something specific with it, leave a comment below. And if this video helped, subscribe to the channel for more honest reviews. Thank you for watching.